You're welcome back to my channel, Sumate, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how I made this DIY rose fabric flower. It's a very quick tutorial. Okay, so these are the flower that I made and I use it to design this baby girl dress. So I'm going to be sharing with you how I made it. So I use an organza fabric for this tutorial. You can actually use any fabric of your choice. So the first thing you're going to do is to get a fabric of 4.5 inches wide and 30 inches long. Okay, so that is what I did, and after that you're going to run a stitch to hold it down. Okay, you fold it into two and run a stitch to hold it down, and that is what I just did. And I penciled out the end. Okay, the end like this, you're going to pencil it out with your stitch so that it look like mine like this. Okay, so I'm going to remove the excesses around here, and I did this penciling on both sides, as you can see. So I'm just going to trim off the excess around here as well, and that's is it. So the next thing we are going to do now is to get our iron, and we're going to iron it. Okay, so if you have your iron close by, go ahead and iron it. Okay, so after ironing it, the next thing we are going to do is to make a plate on it. Okay, so we're going to plait on it after ironing it. Okay, so the plate we're going to make is just a regular plate. Okay, we're just going to make regular plates to eat. We just plate around it, and that is what I just did here. So you can see this one, I was done plating it. Okay, so if you want your rose flower to be bigger than this mine, like bigger than mine, you're going to need more than 30 inches long. Okay, but if you want it to be this size, I use about 30 inches long for my fabric. Okay, so the next thing I did here is to um pick my hand needle and I went on to thread it. Okay, so now the first thing I'm going to do is to fold from this end about five to six times. Okay, I'm going to fold this end about 5 to 6 times, and once I was done doing that, I'm going to pick up my hand needle that has been threaded, and I am going to secure this one that I just folded down. So I'm just going to secure it with my hand needle as you see me do here. Okay, and after securing it, it will be time to start forming our rose. Okay, so this is one of the methods you can use to make this rose. Another method you can use is that after plating on it like this, you're going to get a small circled fabric. Okay, a fabric that is cut out in circle shape, and you're going to be sewing this on it round. Okay, you're going to be sewing, stitching this fabric to it round. Okay, but if you don't want that method, you can actually use this method I'm using and it worked perfectly. So these are the two methods that I know you can use to make this DIY fabric rose. Okay, so I was not stitching down the one I just folded, and the next thing I'm going to do is to be wrapping the rests on top of it. Okay, while holding it down with my finger. Okay, so you're going to hold it down with your finger and you're just going to be wrapping it on top of it like you see me do here. Okay, so I'm just going to be wrapping it until I get to the end. So if you observe, the rose is forming. As I wrap it, you notice the rose is forming. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do while still holding your hand down, you're going to pick the last one that was wrapped. That is the last tip. The last tip, yes, you are going to pick it with your hand needle. You're just going to pick it with your hand needle, and you will stitch it together with the initial one you folded. Okay, the one we initially secure with our hand needle. That is what you're going to do. So that is what you see me doing here. I'll pick on it, then I'll pick straight to the one I had initially secured inside, and I'm just going to stitch both of them down. Okay, so this part is a bit tricky, so you're just going to take your time and do this. Okay, so you're going to stitch very well before you remove your hand, because while I was doing this, I mistakenly removed my hand before it was properly secured, and that is why you notice that the flower was a bit disarranged. Okay, so you just need to hold your hand down on it until you finish securing properly. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to arrange back the ones that pull up after my hands removed. Okay, so you can see all those tips standing around there. It is because of my hand that mistakenly removed. Okay, so but that's not a problem. I'm just going to arrange it back and I'm going to stitch it down. So that is what you are going to do as well. So I'm going to stitch it down, and when I stitch it down, I'll turn it to the right side to see if it looked put together. If it doesn't look put together, you still use your hand needle to, you know, secure it together so that the rose flower will come out neatly. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and afterward I'm going to show you what we have. So if you notice, I'm using a black thread for this because of this tutorial, because I wanted you to see what I am doing clearly. Okay, that's what I'm using. That's why I'm using another different color of thread. So please, when you are making yours, use a matching thread. Okay, use a matching thread. So if you notice, the last one of this flower is a bit distance away from the initial ones. Okay, and that was because of that my hand that removed on the process. Okay, so but that's not an issue. You're just going to use your hand needle to stitch it down and bring it together. Okay, so you can see what I have here. So you are just going to use your hand and arrange it very well. If possible, you also tag it around. Okay, so that is what I'm going to do, and once I was done doing that, I'm going to stitch down very well, and I'm just going to cut the thread. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'll show you the rest of the ones I already done and how all of them are looking like. So this is it. As you can see, this is it. Okay, so these are the ones I already made. You can see the brown color, or you can see the other colors, and you can see how beautiful they are looking. And once I was done, I use it to design my dress. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and also drop a comment for me. See you some other time.